Hello and welcome back to a brand new Drag Race UK live stream here on The Mirror. My name is Ryan Wilks and today I am joined by two absolute legends. It's Victoria Scone and Veronica Green. How are you both?
Hello.
Hi, I'm doing good, thanks.
That's fab. So if you have any questions today for both queens here on the live, please do drop them down in the comment section and we will try to get them answered for you. So first things first, Victoria, how are you? Have you recovered and how are you feeling in general?
I'm very well, thank you. Yeah, my knee is nice and knee now. It's nearly back to normal. It's good. Yeah, it's I've had a long recovery of physiotherapy that I couldn't tell anyone about, but it's all good now. Luckily, I didn't have to have any surgery. It was a partial tear to my ACL, but she's up and kicking now, back jumping into the splits.
It's great to know that you're feeling better. That's what we like to hear. So let's kick things off by talking about both of your entrances last week. You were both part of an incredible cast and you should feel really proud for your time on the show. And now walking into the competition, Victoria, how did it feel knowing that you were going to show out for all of these AFAB performers for around the world?
Yeah, I mean, one might think that it would be a lot of pressure. I mean, it was a lot of pressure. There was a lot of eyes on me, and I was repping for a huge portion of our queer community. But I didn't feel it. I didn't feel a huge amount. I'm very much proud of what I do. We don't hear women talking about how good they are at things. Certainly not as much as men do. So I think I'm a very good drag queen. I'm good at what I do. So I was very prepared and ready to go in and storm the competition for sure.
Definitely. When I actually spoke to Electra last week, I actually did say that by showing someone like yourself, that's showing British drag. British drag's all about like all kinds of drag in general, and not just obviously a man in a dress. It's about plenty of other things, and it's a great spectrum of drag in the UK, and you definitely show that, Victoria.
Thank you.
And now moving on to Veronica, I was so excited to see you return for season 3. You definitely deserved a spot there, as in season 2, you absolutely blew us all away. Did you feel more pressure coming back for season 3 as season 2, would you say?
Yeah, for coming back for season 3, there's so much more pressure because it's first of all, it's a new crop of queens, so you don't know what to expect. You don't know who's been cast, and then also there's this pressure of the pleasing the fandom and continuing the success. You know, I was doing well on season 2 and there's a high expectation there for me to continue to do well. And just, it's just the expectation really. I think that's got to be the biggest pressure that I faced. Was I was in this great place on season 2 and I didn't want there to be a downfall on season 3 that would potentially hurt me when coming back out into the real world, you know?
Definitely. And obviously we all know that Drag Race is really, really financially like straining as well. And it costs a lot of money to be on Drag Race. Moving from season to season, would you say that you like struggled in general of finding resources in a pandemic? Obviously, you know, we couldn't just go out to the shop to buy nails, dresses, whatever. Was it harder this time round than the first time?
It was absolutely harder this time around. I make no bones about the fact that I was financially almost bankrupt. So much so that I couldn't even put food on my table. My fiance, Steve, had to support me through the pandemic last year, through the summer, the autumn, the winter, and now in the spring as well. I hadn't worked for a whole year. Not only that, though, as well, coping with the lockdown and going through depression as well. How could I even think about revamping or making my runways better when I didn't even want to get out of bed in the morning? I was bedbound for like 3 months with over the first lockdown. So the mental struggles, the financial struggles, emotional toll as well, and then this expectation of the fandom that you've got to look $1 million when you walk down the runway, and not every queen. That's not what every queen does. Drag is not just about the clothes you wear. I was relying on my personality, my charisma, my uniqueness, my nerve, and my talent. That's what Drag Race screens for. And unfortunately, I couldn't put my money where my mouth was because I had no money.
Definitely. I hope you are in a better place now, because that's what it's all about. Drag's about being happy and showing light on your performance skills, like you said, and I definitely thought that you did absolutely incredible and should really be proud of yourself. So now let's move on to when you.
Yeah.
So let's move on to when you both walked into the workroom. Would you say, Veronica, when you actually saw Victoria walking into the competition, did you actually think that, oh my God, like somebody else could walk into the workroom that's an AFAB performer? Did you think it changed the game at all? How did you feel seeing someone like Victoria walk into the workroom?
Well, first of all, I thought here's some serious competition right now. Okay, this is on now when I saw Victoria walk into the room, because I don't know if you know, but I'm a bit of a fan of drag. I like to follow people on socials, and although we'd never met personally, I have been following Victoria for a while, so I know what she can do. And I was shook to my core when I saw her walk through. The fact that she's a cisgendered woman didn't intimidate me at all. I welcome it to the competition, because we do need to diversify even more. We need to represent other parts of the drag community that are so prevalent in the real world. We need to bring the real world drag to Drag Race, because I think that's so important that we don't just become this narrow-minded one thing. And Drag Race are making great steps, baby steps. Let's take some adult steps and widen the field even more. Having Victoria included is such an amazing thing, and I think she would agree that her gender doesn't define her in this competition, and we are all judged equally.
Definitely. And we have had a fan comment, and I do apologise. They said that they haven't seen the episode yet, and we've spoilt it for them. We do
if you haven't seen the episode, I'm going to bit, and this is Electra.
Exactly.
I'm going to tell
Let's
you
just put it
something right now. Here we go. It's only a spoiler if the episode hasn't been released. There was somebody who did release a spoiler a couple of weeks ago, but the episode is on the air now. We're in the UK. Drag Race UK came out at 7 p.m. yesterday. That's a very long time ago. It's no longer a spoiler if it's been released.
Thank you for that, Veronica. Speak for the people. So,
well, it's
episode
true, though.
1.
Like, it's true.
Here she bloody goes.
So episode 1 kicked off to an incredible start, and you actually battled for the win, Victoria. Would you say that like entering the workroom as an AFAB performer and then also going on to battling for the win, did you feel like you were in like a dream? Like, how did it feel stood there with Ru saying that you're in the top? Did you feel any like nerves going into the lip sync? How did you feel?
No, it felt very correct. Did you see my costumes, darling? Of course I was in the top 2.
Absolutely.
And if there wasn't a lip sync, I probably would have just won it there and then. And if I hadn't have busted my knee up, I probably would have won the lip sync. So, to tell you the truth.
The afternoon tea outfit, can I say, honestly, it's one of my favourite looks that's ever been on Drag Race. It was so high camp. It was literally legendary.
Thank you. Yes, I do love blurring the lines between costume and fashion. Well, let's say, yeah.
Definitely. So the lip sync was an absolute moment, I will say. It's such a great song as well. When you did slide onto your knee, and obviously the injury happened, would you say that you felt it in the moment, or would you say that the adrenaline like carried you through the lip sync? Because I still think that you turned it out.
Oh, absolutely. It was like a gunshot went off in my knee, and I instantly knew that something was not right. I've never had a knee injury before, so it was quite a shock. And I styled it out, as you say. I physically had to use Crystal to get me off the floor because my knee was not there anymore. I'd left it on the floor on the main stage. But I tried to style it out because, you know, some not everyone could tell that I'd injured myself. A few people thought, oh, that knee slide looks a bit painful. But yes, I'd royally screwed up my kneecap there. It hurt a lot, let's just say that. But I did have a lot of adrenaline for sure because I had to carry on and then continue to watch another lip sync while the pain started to really settle in once the adrenaline was wearing off. I remember we were backstage and I remember Ronnie looking at me and you were like, was that your knee? And I was quite poorly from the pain. I was sort of retching, not to be crude, but the pain was quite unbearable. I've never felt pain like it, actually.
Well, I think you
And
did
the blood,
amazing,
the
and you still
blood.
carried on.
Yes, the blood. Yeah, there was blood on my. I think that was on my other knee, from where I slid. But yeah, but both of my knees were pretty hurt. I didn't actually say that, but yeah, both my knees weren't great, to be honest with you. But one of them was more injured than the other.
Okay, so now this week, Veronica, you were asked to make an outfit by Ru out of the materials. I think that you should have personally been favoured for the amount of effort that you put in. I don't think that you looked like any of the other queens on the runway. Your look was a concept. Do you feel like the judges' decisions were right putting you in the bottom, or do you feel like they just didn't see your concept in general?
Well, so I just think that drag is art and art is subjective, and sometimes it doesn't go your way. I think it was a huge risk doing a design like that. The execution, I do think, was poor, to be fair. So pulling me up on the lack of shape, I think was fair. And my time management didn't allow me to edit it to make it look any better. But because I looked so different to everybody else, I agree with you. Like, I took the concept in a completely different direction to all the other plaid fabrics, and that immediately set a bullseye spotlight on me, and it was either going to go in my favor or against me, but that's me to a T. You know, I either am the top of the cream of the crop, or I crash and burn. I don't like to be mediocre and go in the middle. I take risks. I helped a lot of queens that week, and Scarlett won. Crystal was in the top, and Vanity was in the bottom. So again, it proves the people that I helped were either in the top or the bottom. So that's just me to a T. I take risks. I gamble with my design ideas, and sometimes when you roll the dice, it's snake eyes.
Yeah, well, I thought that your look was fab, and like I said, it was a concept, and if the concept didn't work, then so be it. Like you said, drag is art, and art is subjective. So now we all know that Ru loved a twist and a turn in Drag Race, and anyone could come back at any time. How would you both feel about returning to All Stars? Would you be open to that?
Victoria, do you want to go first?
Well, as Ru said, we haven't seen the last of Victoria Scone. You know, whatever that may mean. I guess you could say I've got unfinished business. Let's leave it at that.
Yeah, and for me, when I was eliminated, when we were filming, I was very sad, very upset, very angry, and a little bit bitter for a while, admittedly, to my friends privately. I was like, they were so cruel to me. But now that all those feelings have dissipated, I'm out of my feelings and I can look objectively at it. Of course, I'd never say never. The Drag Race gives you this platform to reach a worldwide audience and can and does change your life. So I would never say never to go back on the show again. I'm not ready quite yet. I'll need a bit of time to develop myself and get some new blooming drag. You know, I'm having to wear the same things over and over again until I get paid. But real talk. I wouldn't say never. It has to be the right time though.
Well, I'd love to see you both return. And I'd just like to say thank you, everybody, for tuning in today. It's been lovely speaking to you both. I can't wait to see you at shows. I will definitely be coming to see you both because you're both so talented. And I've loved speaking to you today. So thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Thank you.